Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
You know, when you're casting a big movie, relationships matter. And if you're within the sound of my voice, that must mean that you're in the seats with once more. As always, my name is Dave Voigt, and I'm the host of this podcast where we sit down with a wide-ranging variety of entertainment industry professionals. We pick their brain about current projects, state of the industry, how they got started, and so very much more in a light and in a conversational fashion. And, you know, if you like how we do things around here, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that you do, because let's face it, you're listening right now. If you are, please keep listening and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, gives you a 5-star rating on your podcast provider of choice. We're available pretty much everywhere, places like Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google, and plus we archive every single one of our episodes over at our In the Seats YouTube channel. So if you can give us a like and subscribe there as well, we'd absolutely appreciate it. Also, don't hesitate to check us out on social media. We're on the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, Letterboxd, the TikTok, the Threads, the Blue Sky. There's too many, but we're at In the Seats, as always, for fun updates. And finally, and I do dare say most importantly, please pay us a visit over at In the Seats, intheseats.ca, for all the latest and greatest from the world of film, television, basically the moving image at large. Because guess what? If we love to watch it and read about it and talk about it, we love it all that much more when you come by and read about it and listen about it. So please do us that ultimate kindness. Come on by and pay us a visit. We're still in the throes of awards season on this episode, and we got a good one for you as we're diving in to The Secret Agent, which has been nominated for Best Motion Picture, Acting Awards, a whole bunch of other awards. It is really one of the best films of the year, and we had the unique pleasure of sitting down with casting director Gabriel Domingues about his work on the film, because it's quite a large cast. And his work with Kleber Mendonça Filho. I apologize if I butchered that, but it's a great movie, and it's pulled, like, it's a fictional story, but it's pulled from a very real time in Brazil, and it's relevant. It's a gorgeous piece of cinema. Like I said, this past year has been one of the better years of cinema we've had in quite some time. If you disagree, then it just means you just haven't been looking properly. Because The Secret Agent is definitely one of those best films of the year, especially international cinema. International cinema has been fantastic this year. But if you haven't already, go seek out The Secret Agent. It's in theaters. It might be on other platforms as well. I don't know, but watch it however way possible you can. But first, enjoy our talk with casting director Gabriel Domingues about his work on this fantastic film, because, quite frankly, it's a good conversation, and it's an even better movie. So go check it out. Gabrielle, obviously, first off, I mean, thank you so much for the time, and I mean, congrats on the film getting shortlisted.
Yes, thank you.
Now, I mean, I guess my first question is, this is obviously a big movie with a lot of people in it. Like, talk me through, I guess, sort of the early days of getting involved in this project.
The early days. Well, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Like sort of like the initial phone call to be involved with the project, sort of the early days.
Yes. No, that's it. I've already worked with in a Kleber's movie before in Aquarius. So it was my first job in my whole
Right.
life in cinema. I was the casting assistant in Aquarius. So I met Kleber by that time in 2014, and from there to now, I worked a lot and did many projects. I created my career, and in the last 2 years, I worked with Emily Lesclaw, the producer of the movie, in other projects, another movie and a TV series, and I did the whole casting, and then they invited me to be in The Secret Agent, which was I don't know, it was I was so happy when they invited me to when I first read the script and we started the discussion, the conversation about it. Wagner Moura was already casted because Kleber wrote the movie for him practically, and also he has this strong will to work with Tânia Maria in the character of Dona Sebastiana, Tânia Maria. They were already casted, and then we started to discussing the other characters and trying to figure it out.
Because there's so many different characters that obviously have, you know, maybe just one or two lines, but are all very vital to the whole arc of the story. I mean, how much kind of rope do you get from Kleber in terms of like finding people, or is it just, or does it really come down to sort of the collaboration of the right person for the right role?
Kleber, he has on his mind very clear the characters since the beginning, since ever. Uh, his description of them was very rich of details and how they should look, how they should, their physical appearance must be, and everything else. So for me, it's like it's better to work this way because it guides me. It will like conduct me on my research and my search for the right person for the right part. Uh, and also, Clever has this, I don't know, this very rich and very large historical research from the 70s in Brazil and in Recife mainly because he has already made a documentary about it, the Retratos Fantasmas,
Yeah.
his last movie. So he understands very well about how people looked by that time, how they were, the issues of classes, the moment Brazil was living. Like there were some differences uh, in the situation, social situation and economical situation of Brazil that guides us in our discussion on which actor should be uh, casted to the roles. We had a lot of discussions on how Brazil was and how the social situation was by that time.
Did that like I guess sort of create any challenges in casting? Because obviously this is a fictional story, but you're 50 years removed from a very sort of complex political time in Brazil.
I'm sorry.
No, no,
Can you
like
repeat?
did the time period cause any kind of casting difficulties? Because obviously it's
Yes,
fresh in
yes,
a lot of people's
absolutely.
minds.
Absolutely, because well, it's you gotta try to imagine. It's not clear, but we were always trying to imagine what makes someone looks like the 70s, because there are some people who could be like in a photo of the 70s, and
Right,
we were
right.
always we were always watching things and seeing photos and historiographical material from the 70s to understand how people look. People were the hair were different, the skin was different. Like they have, I don't know, maybe it's more purity. It was, I don't know, ages before the whole technology things happened. So people were more naive. It was more romantic, more, I don't know. There is an atmosphere from the 70s that we try to understand, to cast the actors. Uh, for example, there are some rules. I guess it got more expressive. This question of this issue of the period drama,
Right.
like the young guy who lives in Dona Sebastiana's house, the
Yeah.
teenager who works with her. That guy, Kleber, told me he gotta look someone that was just arrived in the city, and he came from the countryside. He's like someone who has been uh, expelled from his house because his parents doesn't accept him, and we found this guy, and he has this sadness in his eyes. In his eyes, these melancholic aspects of I don't know, his the way he talks. He talks very slowly, which is very different, very rare for a teenager from nowadays to
Yeah.
have this energy, and we thought that that fits in the 70s scenario. And for example, other character that I think that it was surprisingly fits with the whole 70s thing. The killer, the two guys
Yes.
go
Yes.
go
Yeah.
to hire him in the sugarcane garage, and to kill
It felt
Marcelo.
like you snatched him at a time. Absolutely.
Yes, and Kleber has this reference of this famous serial killer of the 70s in Brazil. It's called O Assassino de Serra Talhada, the killer from Serra Talhada. Serra Talhada is a place, is a city in Pernambuco. And there was a big journalistic uh, video documentary of him of this guy, and we used his image to inspire what we were looking for. Like Kleber is, he always says uh, he's gotta have something threatening in his eyes, and he gotta have this threatening appearance, and he has a mix of races, which is very interesting because we found this guy and he has he has these characteristics that we we were looking for, like inspired by this famous serial killer, from the
Now, I
70s.
mean, especially on a movie like this, because obviously the ensemble is so big, I'd imagine you have to go beyond sort of the traditional casting route. Like, how big of a net do you have to sort of put out there to get all the people that you need for a movie like this?
It was like that. First of all, we have Kleber told me we're gonna use the same system we used in the last movies, in the other movies. Like we have this very experienced actors, these very famous actors. They are famous, very famous in Brazil. They are very known by the audience uh, in some roles. And also we have these actors who have been working with Kleber before, who already know him
Mm.
in Bacurau or even in Aquarius, like the Carlos Francisco, who does Marcelo's father-in-law.
Yeah, I recognized a few faces, definitely.
Yes, he did. He was also in Bacurau. So we had the feeling that there were some actors that we want to work with again, and also we have the the chances, the opportunity to open a very big call to receive material from people and to absorb them in the movie. Like there are some new faces also in
Yes.
the casting, and that's very interesting because it gave us the opportunity to know people and also to for them to work with Kleber, which like most of the actors want.
Now, I'm curious, when you already have a relationship with someone like Clever, how does that aid sort of the your end of the job? Because I mean, I can imagine it's different than say going on to a different shoot where maybe you don't know the director, you're kind of going in cold.
Everybody wants to do it. Like all the actors wants to do it, so it makes it easier in a way. But because they admire Kleber's work and cinematography, so it makes it easier in a way. But at the same time, we were very open to people who doesn't have had opportunities before,
Right.
and they were interesting, they were alive, and they were, I don't know, they fit the role. So the most important criteria for choosing them was them to be nice. They
Yeah.
gotta they gotta be
Someone you
nice
want to be able to
people,
work
and
with. No, for sure. Yeah.
yes.
Now, I'm curious, what got you into sort of this end of the business casting? Like, what was sort of like, what was your introduction to it?
My introduction to
Yeah.
casting in my life, in my career.
Yeah, your career. Yeah.
Yes, that was what I was saying. My first job was in Aquarius, the Kleber's movie. I was a assistant of casting assistant in Aquarius, and I was 24. I had just left film school, and I met so many interesting actors, and I understood the process of casting and how does that impact the movie and create I don't know a specific energy in the movie that I felt like, oh man, that's nice, I want to do that. And then I did many jobs after that, but that was it. It was the human landscape, create a human landscape. It was what seduced me on casting, and the energy between them, the chemistry between them. That's what I'm interested in, and in faces and strangeness, and I don't know, the people who fascinates me. I find curious. I find interesting. That's what I'm up for.
Is that essentially the art of casting, sort of understanding that energy, especially when you have such detailed notes from someone like Kleber, to sort of give you that sort of understanding of what his vision is, to be like, okay, not that guy, but no, that guy's going to work. Let's try to put that guy into this slot.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
In terms of like what like defining the job of casting, is it really all about reading that energy, especially when you understand the vision of the director?
Yes, the vision of the with the director, but also Kleber is a very he's interested. He has an ability of listening. He's curious. He's always interested in your opinion, in his collaborators' opinion. So he keeps on a very open channel to exchange impressions and ideas, and that's what makes the process rich. Like because we are always discussing our impressions on each option or each character. Of course, he has, as 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 I said, he has this the whole thing on his mind, and he sees it very well.
Mm.
Uh, but he's very interested in my opinion, what I think, what his collaborators think. So that's what makes it interesting.
Love it, love it. Now, obviously, I got to see this in Toronto when it played at TIFF, and I absolutely loved it. And Kleber is obviously sort of at the forefront when it comes to Brazilian cinema. And I mean, I'm kind of curious from someone who works in the industry, like how much like are there other Klebers out there? Are there people that we don't know? Like I'm kind of curious on your perspective on sort of filmmaking in Brazil because I mean, again, for the international audience, right now Kleber is the face, but it feels like there's even more stories to come.
Well, it's a difficult question to answer because I don't know. There are people who are in different stages of their careers,
Right.
but of course, Kleber has something very special because he I don't know he created a very specific way of doing it in Brazilian movie business and cinema environment, and he had this this author mark, which is very I don't know strong and rich. But I think there are other people like him. We have an industry in Brazil that are getting bigger and getting stronger and creating like a space to the outer aspects of the cinema, you know.
Oh,
I think
100%.
there
I
are.
mean, obviously, Gabriel, I mean, just congrats to you and the entire team on this because it really is one of my favorite movies of the year. It's absolutely a fantastic piece of cinema. But I mean, again, congrats to you on the work and thank you so much again for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise. All right. Talk to you soon. And don't forget to visit our friends over at Bay Street Video for all your DVD, Blu-ray rental, or purchasing needs this summer, as they are still open for curbside and some mailing delivery as well. Over at 1172 Bay Street, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you can give them a call at 416-964-9088. That's 416-964-9088. Or send them an email at baystreetvideoto@gmail.com for any of your DVD and Blu-ray needs.